Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Is my voice coming to you all? Okay. I don't know. I was getting some echo and all that. Okay. So if you can hear, everybody can hear me, then we can talk and discuss today's topic. So today's topic is about Internet of Things. In fact, this presentation which I'm going to talk was done by SAP EMEA. So this is SAP EMEA presentation. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Let me bring headphone. So they were doing a session. So this is actually presentation done by them. So I kind of liked it, and I thought we can discuss this presentation, and then we can go with that presentation and what we can do as far as this presentation is concerned. So that is what this presentation is about. So in this presentation, what I will be doing basically, so I will be, we will have, so Internet of Thing for SMB, and here this is what our agenda is in our presentation. So I'm going to have a presentation, and then I will also play a video. So how I'm going to do this presentation? So I will play video which is recording of session which was shared with me after session from SAP EMEA. So from SAP EMEA, that presentation was shared. Okay, so that presentation we're gonna discuss, and then I have presentation copy also. So I will be talking from that presentation as well. Okay. So that is what the method for this presentation would be, because I would like you to hear what SAP is saying as far as this topic is concerned. And so that will be interesting. And why SAP doing that? Why SAP is talking about Internet of Things, and what this topic is about. So before I start my presentation, let me ask a question. What is Internet of Things? Do you guys know what is IoT? What is Internet of Things? How many of you know what is Internet of Things? So all of you who joined the session today, what is Internet of Things? And why are we talking about Internet of Things in this particular discussion today? So what is Internet of Things? So Sanjay said no idea. Anybody has any idea what is Internet of Things? Why SAP would be doing a session on it? Okay. So most people does not have any idea, which is understandable. So most of people has no idea. So that is understandable. What is internet? What is internet? Any idea what is internet? You all use internet. So what is internet? Any idea? What is internet? What is internet? Because we all use internet, right? Many years, last 20 years and so. So last 20 years we use internet for everything, right? So last 20 years, we use internet for everything. We cannot live without internet. Internet, as we know, has changed all our business. Internet has changed not only our business, but also our social, personal, political platforms. Yeah. So it is significant impact, right? And that is, first we need to understand what the internet is. And then, and only then, we can understand what Internet of Things is. When we understand what internet has done to us, then we can understand what Internet of Things can do. That is why I started today's presentation. What is IoT, or what is Internet of Things? And that is why once we understand the impact, significance of internet, internet has become the essential part of everybody's life. Your life, on a personal basis, business basis, we are doing this in meeting because of internet. Yeah. If internet was not there, we couldn't do this meeting. How your SAP works depend upon SAP, because now you can have a client server architecture. There is no need for LAN. You have a cloud technology, you have everything which is impacted with internet. But what is the internet? So internet, in oversimplification, so what is the internet? So internet basically means when many computers are connected with each other using TCP/IP protocols. That's it. Internet, when many computers are connected with each other with TCP/IP protocol. That is the internet. Millions and millions and millions and millions of computers are connected with each other. That is the internet. And when you are able to connect all those computers or servers, millions of them across the world by TCP/IP protocols. That's it. That's what the internet is. Thousands of computers connected with each other. And we have seen that power of that integration, the power of that connection of that millions of computers, how that millions of computers has impacted our business models, our social spectrum, our personal spectrum, our political spectrum. Now everything is impacted because of the internet. You have social media. Social media has all these impacts, and all this Facebook and Twitter, this, that. This is all because of internet. We are having this meeting because of internet. So internet in last 20-25 years, and guess what? There was no internet 20-25 years back. So in last 25 years, this internet has changed everything. IoT is Internet 2.0. So IoT is Internet 2.0. Now let us understand. Let me play the presentation. This is the video recording of SAP. As you know that we are a VAR in North America, as Kabeer is the VAR in EMEA regions. So SAP is divided into 3 regions in the world. One is Asia, one is EMEA, which include the Middle East and Asia, and Africa, and the third one is Americas. And your company is bar in 2 out of 3. In India, we are not. So they do a lot of presentation. The SAP in India is horrible. They're arrogant people. But the SAP folks in North America and EMEA and all that, they do a lot of good jobs, and they do a lot of very good trainings and all that. And I can see the difference actually. But anyway, that's a different topics. So I'm going to play this video. This video is done by a lady called Trinidad Martinez. Trinidad Martinez is SAP's solution architect. So Trinidad did this presentation. I happened to meet her when I was in Africa because there was a session which they did it, and I attended that session. So I met her. She's an architect of all these different advanced technologies. So I'm gonna play her video, and then I will talk and do my commentary along with it.
My name is Trinidad Martinez. I'm from the SAP SMB Solution Architect team, and we are running this intelligent enterprise empowerment sessions for Africa. And today's session will be concentrated on the Internet of Things. So we will start with a definition of the Internet of Things. So what is the Internet of Things? We will go a bit on detail on what is the offer of SAP for Internet of Things that is called SAP Leonardo IoT. And then we will see with some example and use cases how we will implement some kind of scenarios regarding IoT. So IoT is a very vast topic, can comprise any kind of device. So it's really not something that we can tell you need to do this. Is really depending on your own domain and type of customers you have. You need to see the needs. So let's start by the definition.
So in this presentation, we will talk 3 things. What is Internet of Things? Why SAP talking about it? So definition of it, I give you a little bit of idea what Internet of Thing is and why this is significant. Why Internet of Thing could be a game changer. We'll talk more about it. The second thing, SAP has a product that is called SAP Leonardo. SAP Leonardo is name of a product. Like we have a SAP Business One, we have a HANA, we have a SAP S4 HANA. SAP Leonardo is SAP's product. It does many things. And it is also SAP's platform for IoT. Then in the last, these are the 3 examples. So we're talking about this Internet of Things, okay, but how does it affect me? How this Internet thing can be used in our life and with the SAP Business One in our day-to-day life. So in the later part of this presentation, there are 3 use cases which I kind of liked. So there is a one use case of replenishment with IoT. So how the replenishment happened and how the SAP Business One integrate with that. Because we are SAP consultants, so we need to know that when we're talking about all this IoT and all, how does it affect as far as my day-to-day life is concerned, and how does it affect SAP Business One? So there are 3 use cases. One is replenishment with IoT. The second is there is a mobile app. So this smb.io is a mobile app. In fact, after the session, you can download this mobile app, and that mobile app is available. And then third is Amazon button. Inside use cases. So we could, these are the 3 cases which we will see in the end.
So what is the Internet of Things? I have a small video that...
How productive is your business? What if your products shared important insights? Assets told you what they needed to be efficient, and smart devices became even smarter. The Internet of Things is all about connectivity. But what if you could better connect systems, assets, and people to coordinate knowledge in real time so you can act on opportunities and ward off problems? You don't have to play what if. Enlist SAP Leonardo Internet of Things for easy access to information on any device, anytime. Empower relationships. Process a high amount of data. Stream analytics. And get smart options for the future. Create a whole new reality of invaluable information and run your business at its most successful. Discover what happens when SAP meets IoT.
Okay, so we have seen in the video many use cases where we can connect IoT, so the number is infinite. So let's have a look a bit what kind of cases we can have. So as I said, infinite cases. Here we give some samples, like productivity improvements is one of the biggest ones, and where one of the ones that is being most implemented, it's really to lower the maintenance cost. So we really can predict, we can check the status of the different components in our company or in the production, and then see beforehand when something will need to be replaced or replenished before it is really required. So we are not in a hurry. We don't lose time of production of this component that may break down. So we can know it in advance. We can also imagine new business models. We can optimize the process of people working on it by having information on how they react and how they are acting every day, and which components can influence the performance and the optimization. So we can really do some calculations based on the data that we get from the IoT. We can also reduce the risk. So we can add safety by knowing how is the status, what are the consequences of different measures taken in the past, and what are the predictions. So in many cases, IoT will not come alone. We will see in the next slide. So it's not only to retrieve data what is important. And we will see that SAP is focusing on that. It's not only to have billions of numbers in our database. Is the way we exploit this data, the way we reuse this data, and the way we really can take actions based on that data. So this is what is important, but we need the whole environment to be able to develop that. So if we look at the numbers, they are really huge. We are talking about having by 2025 around 75 billion devices connected, of which 25 billion devices only in industrial IoT. So this is really huge for industrial IoT. We have a $2.7 trillion economic opportunity and a $630 billion of savings for the predictive maintenance. So we see that is not only to take data for the sake of taking data or storing data, it's really to take advantage of this data and get better insights of the companies and do actions based on this data. The most important is how to interpret the data. So
let us understand this. 25 billion devices in industrial IoT. 25 billion devices in industrial IoT. Let's understand this point, only this one point. And that is the reason I started with this discussion that what is internet and what is the power of internet. Power of internet is that billions and millions and thousands and thousands and thousands of computers are connected. In that connection, using TCP/IP protocols, we get immense power, because then now you Google and you get all the information. Some information on this system, some information on this computer, some information on this desktop, some computer on that server, some information on that server. So gazillions of servers are connected with each other. And now you have all those power. Using internet, you can access all that information. That's what you do when you Google it or when you do any search. Now we extend this integration beyond computers. So extension in internet is limited to computers. Now we extend this integration beyond computers. It could be any device. Could be any device. And we are talking about 25 billion. Calculate how many crores of devices connection we are talking about. And that is why IoT is so powerful. Now when you say device in your house, you have a refrigerator, your various cars, your other home appliances. In the industrial world, you have a lot of industrial devices, industrial machines. Now what happens now is that your laptop or internet, now you have computers connected, but that TCP/IP protocol, that connection, that integration is only on computers. It doesn't go beyond computers. It doesn't go to industrial machines, which are you working in office. It does not go to personal machines, which you're using in a day-to-day life, like for example, your car, your refrigerator, or many other devices, your home appliances. What happens? And that is what the Internet of Things in next few year will be such a significant impact. Like the way internet impacted and influence and change everything in our life, IoT influence would be even greater. Only in the industrial, we are talking about 25 billion devices being connected, 2.7 trillion productivity and all that. I don't know that part, but but I know one thing though, last 20 years, I have seen the impact of internet on everything. And internet is just connecting laptops, your computers. no secondary device, no industrial machines, no personal machines, no home appliances.
IoT is part of the intelligent set of platforms and services provided by SAP, and not only SAP, but many other cloud and service providers. And the goal of this intelligence is not to be somehow isolated, but the goal is to connect our operations, that is really our transactional data, our master data that we have in our ERP. So that's why this connects directly to us as partners for ERPs, because we really want to connect the intelligence to the operations. So you are the ones who know about the operations, the ERP and the customer, so we can directly connect the intelligence to those operations to really improve the way they work. And then we have also the experience that can be the data we get, and also the experience from the customers and the experience from even the employees. And we can mix all this together to get the operational side much better and much intelligent with this kind of blocks that we will add. So as part of the intelligence, of course, SAP is providing.
So let's understand this. Look at this picture carefully. Look at very, very carefully. Here we have something called operation data. You see the data, and it's called operation data or O data. The term is O data or operations data. Then here on the left hand side, look at carefully, it says experience. And then it has something called X data, X data. What is that X data? Do you guys know what is X data? What is experience data? What is operation data? You guys know? Anybody? What is the difference between X data and O data in our day-to-day life? Anybody? What is experience data? What is operations data? And in between, there is something called intelligence. Anybody? What is experience data? What is operations data, which is O data? I will take an example. Many times, it's a crude example of experience data. So you go to stay in a hotel, right? When you go stay in a hotel, you can go and live in Sheraton, right? You can live in Sheraton, or you can live in any of our Patwadaganj type motels. Now in both there is you get a room and you get a bed and basic things. But Sheraton or in Hilton, it's not just that you stay. So when you are in Sheraton, you also get experience, the ambience, the place. You go for coffee, like I like to go to coffee. Many of you may be possible. You can go and take a coffee anywhere, or you can go for a coffee in a Starbucks. And coffee in a Starbucks is 10 times or maybe 20 times cost. But people still go to Starbucks. Experience. That experience, I took a 2 example of a Starbucks coffee. They also at the end of the day giving coffee only, but they also give you experience. When you go and stay in a Hilton hotel, it's a 5-star hotel chain in the world. Of course, you live for some time, but it's not just living, it's an experience. And there's a premium for that experience of coffee in a Starbucks. When we talk about intelligent enterprise, so we will be hearing about this concept called intelligent enterprise a lot. Operation data this is the data in our ERP. So this, when you say operation data or O data, this is your SAP Business One. This is where you have your sales orders and purchase order and good receipt and good issues and general entry, general voucher and all those different transactions which are taking place. That is taking place here in operations data. When you're working and implementing SAP Business One to a company, you are implementing an ability to provide him operations data, sales orders and sales and purchase and inventory and finance, production, quality, all that information is operations data. There is no experience data in it. When we implement SAP Business One, there is no experience data in it. We don't capture that when customer comes and buy, how he feel about us. Because that element in SAP B1 is missing, or any of these ERP for that matter is missing. We get an order for 10 pieces, but we don't capture what was the experience of buying, what was the experience of selling. Because in current system, current ERP, there is no way to capture that. That capacity is not there. But in the back end, in this operations, obviously this is important. And in the front end, we have experience data. Obviously, that is important as well. And then in the center of it, we have something called intelligence. In the intelligence, we have a lot of this reporting, dashboards, KPI, in both directions. Last time when I was doing SAP Business One HANA, one of the region of HANA, or primary region of HANA, is ability to analyze. That is the primary differentiator. Why SAP talking about this HANA last so many years? So the primary purpose of having HANA is providing intelligence. So you have advanced analytic and reporting, dashboard, KPI capability. So now we are covered from 2 sides. So we are covered from operations. We have SAP Business One, so we get operations data. We get a sales order, purchase order, good receipt, good issues, and all that. Then we have a HANA. In using HANA platform, we can have an advanced intelligence analytic capabilities. But we also need to capture X data or experience data as well. And when you combine all the 3, then you become intelligent enterprise.
also the experience, that can be the data we get, and also the experience from the customers and the experience from even the employees. And we can mix all this together to get the operational side much better and much intelligent with this kind of blocks that we will add. So as part of the intelligence, of course, SAP is providing IoT and many other services. As I said, IoT will not run alone. We'll need optimization for data storage. We'll need analytics. We'll need machine learning and artificial intelligence to be able to deduct actions and insights from the IoT data. So we will match all together in this intelligent enterprise. That's why we are covering the different sessions, the different topics around intelligence, to be able to build the full solution your customers need. So today we are focusing on IoT, but it's only one piece of the multiple pieces that needs to be put together. So what is the vision of SAP for an IoT platform? So today in our world, everything is connected. From the products we buy, the equipment and assets we use, the cars we drive, the places we work, and the homes we live. So everything is connected right now. And we have, from those, we have access to data, and we are getting more and more used to have continual access to real-time information. So, for example, when we order something online, we see where is the delivery, when it is arriving. We want things very fast. We want to take real-time decisions. We want the data to give us predictive analytics. So we are really getting all this data, and this are the technical opportunities. Now we need, as a solution provider, we need to take all this data and then use it and collect it to give intelligence to our applications by using all this data, mixing this data, raw data from the IoT, and putting it into a process that contains machine learning or artificial intelligence or predictive processes to be able to be obtaining smarter insights of what is running. And then the last part that is also the most important here is to be able to connect it. So it's not only to have our IoT sensors connected, it's to have this information together with the intelligent insights to have it connected to our ERP. We really need to have things connected to be able to take actions based on those IoT data.
Okay, so let us understand what Martinez is saying. So here we have connected things, moment, intelligence, business process, connected to everything. Let's understand this with an example. Here we have a people, and then people are connected to everything: product, equipment, vehicles, infrastructure, environment. Now, what is happening? We are only connected to one dimension. Internet is a connection of different computers. Internet in the real time is not connected to infrastructure, is not connected to vehicles, is not coming to my industrial equipment, my machine, is not coming to various products in my home appliances. Now in IoT platform, what we are talking about, the integration goes beyond that. And the second thing is, everything is in moment. Everything is in the moment. Which basically means we are talking about online ordering, 24-time delivery. I don't want to wait tomorrow 9 o'clock when office will open and then I will place an order. No, I don't want to wait 12 hours. I want now. 11 o'clock in the night, 6 o'clock in the morning. So the business process model for the customer should be where they can do the things in a moment. For example, online ordering. So even if you do online ordering, is my SAP supporting it? And then everything is intelligence. And one of them is two important things, machine learning and artificial intelligence. In next 10 years and so, there are three technologies which will impact us more than any other technology. One is artificial intelligence. Second is robotics. And third is IoT. If we see the SAP's entire development curvature, they are all towards, even they have a logo, intelligent enterprise. Intelligent enterprise basically means which can have a machine learning, where you can do artificial intelligence, IoT, and we can talk about predictive analytics also. So when you talk the HANA, the primary purpose of HANA is predictive analytics, not reporting. Reporting you can run, predictive analytics, predictive.
So for that, I will explain a bit what is the offer of SAP called SAP Leonardo IoT. As I said, this is not the only IoT offer that is available in the market, but we as SAP will present our offer. But as I said, you can go for other offers if you find them better. So what we have in the Leonardo offer is quite complete. So we are having the full connection between our physical world, where our devices are, and the connection to the business system. So SAP Leonardo is running on the SAP Cloud Platform, and then you will use the Leonardo services, either technical, business, and also on the data management, and you will be able then to interconnect this IoT information with integration services to your ERP, and also to connect to your devices or SAP Edge services. So we are running on the cloud and connecting, whether the ERP is in the cloud or on-premise, we don't care, and we are connecting to the Edge devices no matter where they are located.
Understand this architecture. This is, from the technical perspective, probably the most important slide which you have discussed so far. So we are talking about SAP Leonardo. SAP Leonardo is SAP's product for IoT. So if you're talking about IoT, how is enabling that? So if you see here in this green color, this is your ERP. This could be SAP Business One, SAP Business by Design, SAP S/4HANA, or whatever. Same possible by SAP B1 also. We are more concerned about SAP B1 and SAP S/4HANA because we do those two ERPs. We don't do SAP by Design because that's a useless product. So SAP Business System has business application, master data, transaction data. This is the world we play in. This is what you all do day and night. Business applications, your sales, purchase, and all that. Transaction data, your sales or data, purchase or data, and all that. Master data is your customer, vendor, item, GL, master data, and all that. Then this is your Leonardo. This Leonardo is only on cloud. Your ERP could be cloud or could be on premises. So it doesn't make a difference. So you have a B1 on cloud, B1 on premises, doesn't make a difference. IoT core or Leonardo is only on cloud. In IoT or Leonardo platform, we have something called integration services. With this integration services, there is a bi-directional. You see the arrow in both direction. There is a process integration, there is a data sharing. Sales order, purchase order, customer, vendor, item, GL, all the data is integrated bi-directionally. Then as a part of Leonardo, there is something called SAP Edge Services. SAP Edge Services. This is your devices. This is your physical world. In this physical world, you have your industrial machines, your personal machines, your cars, your devices, your home appliances, and gazillions of all those machines. So all those physical machines which you have, they are connected using SAP Edge services to Leonardo, and from Leonardo it is connected to my SAP Business One. SAP Leonardo is SAP's IoT platform, which connect on both sides, is middleware.
So the offer is a platform that contains a set of blocks that we will see a bit more in detail afterwards. First block is to connect with the devices. Second block is to enable you to organize your data in a model, think data model that we call it. The third step is to be able to manage big data, and this is offered automatically by Leonardo. So you just have to take advantage of all these big data services. And the last step is to build your application and integrate it with your own ERP or other applications outside. So we have like 3 steps for development. The first step is the business context. So get the data and connect it to SAP Leonardo. The second one is the business insight, so to be able to analyze the data. And the third one is the business action, to be able to do actions based on those data. So we have the 3 levels to be completed with different blocks that will be offered by SAP Leonardo. So the first block, of course, is to be able to get the data from the devices. So we will offer 2 blocks. One is the onboarding and device management, to be able to register our devices, and then the lifecycle management of those devices. So we will get the data into our systems. This is done with what we call the Iot Service Cockpit, and this cockpit is providing us the possibility to define all these device models and then get the data, and we work either with nice UIs, or you can work with APIs. So the full SAP Leonardo is working with APIs, so you can really do everything either on screen with UIs and applications, or with APIs, what is quite important if you want to do everything from your application. Then we go to the next level. Once we have our device connected, we are able to manage this device, get data from the device. We will need to store it somewhere. So all the data ingestion and big data storage is automatically managed by SAP Leonardo. And we have also the time series management, so how the data is organized. So we have 3 types of storage: the hot storage, the warm storage, and the cold storage. So depending on how do you need to access to this data. So in the hot storage, automatically SAP is doing time aggregates. So you don't need, for every time when you do graphics or when you do analysis, you will not look to the data on every millisecond. You are interested, for example, on the last one, the average, the maximum, the minimum over a period of time, maybe every minute or every hour or every day, every week. So this is the information we keep the most accessible with the best performance data access data, but only from, because you can imagine the huge amount of data we have. And then the cold storage, that is a low-cost storage, of course, not so performant, but I don't think we are going to have a look to all the samples we took like 10 years ago. We want to take a look to the aggregates, and those will be stored in a better storage. So the cold storage is really what we don't need normally, but we can always retrieve from this cold storage if really required. So this is managed automatically by Leonardo IoT. Then if we want to really work with our devices, we need to enrich and transform all this data, the raw data we get from the devices, and to add some kind of data that is more easy to interpret and the one that will allow us to manage all this data. So we will need some kind of extra master data and semantic data. We will have, for example, we require the location of this device, and we will need also to have some kind of transformation of data. We can do some calculations of whatever we need to do on those data. If we take an example of a silo, so in the silo, we will measure the distance between the components we are storing in this, the material we are storing in this silo and the top level, so to know how is the fulfilled level of this silo, the temperature, the humidity, and the pressure. This is important. This is what the sensor is taking, but we will need to complete it. So where is the silo located? What is the material stored in the silo? And maybe have an asset tag so the people can really be able to flash it, to take data from it. And maybe the company code, the plant, or some kind of special ID that we have for this silo in our ERP, because at the end, all this data needs to go to our ERP to do some kind of analysis. So
now we are going to some examples that how it can be used. So this is a silo. Silo means a container. Now this container could be your container for gasoline. This could be container for your petrol or your diesel or any kind of silo. Silo basically means a container. In our day-to-day life, when you go to a gas station, when you go to all these places, these are silos. In the silos, you have all these parameters. What is the distance? What is the temperature? What is humidity? What is the pressure in the chamber? Geographical location. This gasoline tanker or container is in what address, what latitude, longitude. That gasoline tanker, what kind of a material in it? That could have any kind of a material. You can store grains and cement, ingredients, gasoline, whatever. If there is an asset tag associated to the silo, and which plant, which is to location, etc., this is connected to.
It's not only the IoT sensors information, but also completed with extra information. So this is what we do in our modeling. We will add some extra information to be able to have a meaningful information of that device or that thing. Once we have all the data from the device, we are able to wrap it with the required extra information from that thing. Then we will need to have some insights. So as I said, the IoT data as per se, we will not have someone looking at the graphics every day to see if something is happening. We can have a look just for the sake of looking how is it going, but not to really have actions on it. So the Leonardo IoT is offering a set of services to be able to get those insights. The first one is the analytics services, so to be able to have some kind of extraction of data in a more intelligent way than a simple graphic, so kind of filtering. Then we have also the rules, so we can set rules on our data. For example, if the level goes higher than this specific value, to have some kind of events or some kind of actions deducted on it. So for example, once the temperature is going too high, we want to have an SMS sent to the person that needs to work on it. We want a service request to be created in our business one or by design to be able to do some actions afterwards. So we need some actions. We need some intelligence on it to be able to, for example, calculate if the temperature goes too high, when is a specific condition. So we need to do some kind of analysis, and this will be done with the intelligent services we have. And then we will be able to extract all this with the rules and the events from the IoT. So we will have different kind of actions directly in the IoT platform where we can directly call some APIs to trigger some actions, for example, in the ERP Business One or by design or any kind of ERP. We can have notifications on mobiles or Fiori applications. We can send emails. We can have any kind of actions that will help us to monitor this in an automatic way. We will not have someone looking at the graphic every day. Once we have all this in place, we will then come and develop maybe some applications for visualization of the data, visualization of the events, etc. And for that, Leonardo IoT is providing a set of templates, Fiori templates, on top of our development tool that is the Web IDE. So you will be able to, by using those templates, to get graphics like the one we are seeing in the screen with a map, with a list of things, the details of everything, the measures of everything. So this with some clicks in some minutes. So here we have also the possibility to develop KPI tiles and KPI charts very easily just by using those templates. So it's accelerating the development of applications. So let's have a look now to the use cases that is the most interesting part here, because I want to show you some examples to inspire you and to find out which kind of services you could offer to your customers based on IoT. The first sample is a school sample where I will show you how Leonardo can answer to it, and then we will have two more orientated on how it works afterwards. So this first example is the replenishment. So we talked about the silos. So we continue on this topic, and we have a use case where we will have sensors on the silos to calculate what is the fill level of the silo. So we can then, from Leonardo IoT, monitor the consumption rates of this silo by looking at the levels. And more importantly, we can also create rules on the data. So, for example, when the silo goes under a specific level of fulfillment, then we can directly create a purchase requisition. So we can go and do an action in the ERP to create a purchase order that will be translated into a sales order at the supplier. The supplier will prepare the delivery and will deliver. So we will have the delivery then on a time before the silo gets empty, and without having someone manually to have a look to the level and be.
Let us understand this example, and that will clarify how IoT could possibly be used in our day-to-day life. We took an example of silo. So here on the top of it, so it's a swim lane diagram. So this is one swim lane, this is second swim lane, this is third swim lane. Now here we have something called my container or silo. Now that's container could be whatever. That is a container of gasoline, container of grains, whatever. So here, this is my container. And the container, I'm storing, let us say, gasoline, diesel, petrol, or any other essential item. And I have defined the fill label. Now what is happening is that the moment the fill label becomes low in the container, which could be whatever location, anywhere in the world, system reads that, sense it, because system is monitoring the consumption based upon the rules which you have defined. And then when consumption, after consumption, when the level becomes low, in SAP Business One, it automatically creates an action called purchase requisition. So that purchase requisition is automatically triggered in SAP Business One by taking the sensor and action using IoT platform by sensing the platform. So there is no somebody going and monitoring on a daily basis. Somebody going there and checking and then coming in the system and manually creating purchase requisition. We don't need to do that. It is automatic now. So we go, the label, there is a consumption rate, and with the consumption rate system understand it, we go to purchase requisition. That is the purchase requisition get created in the system. After that, supplier receive sales orders, and then we get a delivery, and then we fill the tank. And almost all this process is happening without any human intervention. So that is replenishment of a silo or container by integrating with the IoT and SAP Business One or SAP S/4HANA or other platform.
Having the risk that the silo is completely empty, the whole production chain is blocked because we didn't fill it on time. So this is the goal of this scenario, and let's have a look how we will implement it. So the first thing is we have the silos, we have some IoT sensors on those silos, and those sensors will give us information about the distance between the sensor in the top level of the silo and the surface of the material stored there. We'll have the temperature and the humidity. Then we will take SAP Leonardo IoT to model this as a thing. Our silo will be a thing that will contain some basic data like the serial number in the ERP, the type, the capacity, and other attributes that we might need from this silo. And then we will have, of course, the measure values that go together with it. So we will have really the possibility to represent all this in our Leonardo application with the thing model. Once we have defined the thing model, of course, we are connected. We are getting the data from this thing. We will then be able to define what we call rules. For example, if the field level is under 30, we will then trigger an event that will say low field level. So we can react, and automatically we get this trigger. We don't have to monitor it. We get the trigger directly from IoT. Based on those triggers, we can do actions. For example, one action will create the purchase requisition in the ERP. We can do it directly by calling, for example, service layer or data services in by design. We could also create an iFlow in the cloud platform integration if we want to do a much more complicated scenario where we have some interpretation and calculations before we call the ERP. We can also do simply in-app notifications, so we can send a notification to a mobile, or we can send a notification to our application in the web ID. So we can really do an action based on that. And of course, with our IoT application, with the templates, and of course, we can modify the templates and complete them as we want to customize them to be able to show the data and then see, for example, that when we did maybe the alert came here between 36 and 26, but then it took some time to delivery, and when it arrived to fill it, we were at 10%. So we know if we want to get this is okay. Or if we think that maybe if the delivery was maybe delayed by 1 day, we will have been missing some material. So maybe we need to put the rule a bit higher. So we can really take many insights and then automate everything in the Leonardo application. Okay, so this is a theory sample, and now I would like, so this is the explanation again, where we have the same scenario with here what we do in each step. So the first step is the context, what we get from the device as information, and what we added as master data close to it, the insights, or the rules and the events, and the actions that was the notification and the purchase requisition. So we can really complete the scenario by using the platform Leonardo IoT without having to have an extra platform. Now, if we go to some examples that we have published for SMBs, so I would like to share some samples that we have published. I will give you the URLs so you have the full description of these samples, and you can put them in place if you want for your own demos in your own environment. So we provide the full source code, we provide explanations how to set it up so you can set them up. So here is the first scenario we have, that is going to buy some things and get IoT information from the mobile. So here everything is plain. Let me play the video. That will be better.
My name is Chloe, and having spent many years working for a large retail chain, a few years ago I opened a new wine store in my local town. As a small business owner in a highly competitive market, I realized that we needed to embrace technology to give customers what they need in this highly competitive omni-channel industry. As an existing SAP Business One customer, we were fortunate enough to be asked to test a new prototype solution for the retail sector based on heat maps and beacon sensors that can help us predict and react to our customers' needs. And here are a couple of examples of our experiences to date. John is a regular customer who buys wine, both in-store and online via his mobile device. This week, we decided to test the new solution by sending John and our other regular customers offers via their mobile phone. On Friday, as John passed by the shop, he received a special deal on his mobile based on his last purchase. Later, he stops by the shop, buys a bottle of wine, uses his discount offer, and goes home to enjoy his purchase. Amy, another regular customer, is browsing by the handmade fair trade chocolates display. These are a new luxury brand I think some of our high-spending customers will like. The beacon sense Amy's presence in front of the shelf. The information is fed back to the server, and like John, Amy also receives an offer on her mobile. Amy makes a purchase and leaves. I think this new SAP Business One solution could transform my business. With the help of the sensors, I can see how people move around the shop floor via a heat map. I don't even need to be in the shop, which is good, as I'm planning to open a second shop this year. The information from the heat map helps me to analyze and decide where to bet.
Now understand this. This is another example. This is example of a store. Now they took a wine store. It could be, whatever store, grocery store, and Vishal Mega Mart or whatever. So this is my store. These are my racks. And in the racks, I have something called beacon sensors installed. And in the different racks, I have a visibility that how the people are moving in my store. So we are checking their heat maps, the body heat maps, and that body heat map is automatically going to SAP Business One. So I have an ability to see where and which area people are staying, what product they are watching, what product they are seeing, what product they are observing more, where they stay more, where they pass quickly, which product they are showing more interest, which product they are showing less interest. It's not only about buying, it's also showing their, this is now we are going to experience data. Experience data. So when I have a store, what is the movement of my customers when they come to my store? What do they see? So it's my store. These are different people, beacon sensors, data comes in and it goes to SAP P1 and I observe their experience data.
Best place special offers and improve the general layout. The digital economy has put our consumers in control. With the help of SAP Business One and new technology to help predict customers' needs in real time, I can transform my business and keep my customers satisfied.
As you can see, this is a prototype solution based on a fictional business. However, fiction is close to becoming fact. Let me explain the technology behind this prototype beacon solution. Beacon devices are located all around the shop and broadcast Bluetooth low signals to every customer mobile device. The mobile phone keeps communication with the SAP Cloud Platform, where all the solution business information is hosted, and leverage native services like IoT to store the beacon data and mobile technology to send notifications to the customers. By receiving the position of each customer in real time, the solution backend can identify a customer who has stood for a long period in front of the chocolate shelf or another that has just arrived in the shop. To provide personalized offers, the solution makes requests to SAP Business One Predictive Analytics Service, which is located on a separate cloud. That means the solution is loosely coupled from SAP Business One, and this is vanilla with no customizations. Every time a data interchange is needed to retrieve the item list or create a sales invoice, it's done using these service layer and as well as a detailed description on how to implement it in your own environment, either for demo purposes or to build a commercial product.
Okay, so you have seen the video where we had the person in the shop having the mobile. We had some beacons distributed around the shop, and the beacons were detecting where people were, what they were doing, and then sending offers to them. To build all these mechanisms, we will have an application in the SAP Cloud Platform, and we have, of course, the IoT service activated to get all the data and store all the data and manage it. So then from there on, our application and IoT is able to manage and send notifications to the device for doing all these calculations, which kind, for example, of offers to send, etc. We are using the predictive analysis of the service layer, and we are using the service layer to create, for example, the orders, because the user can directly buy everything, take it, and don't go to the cashier. And then we use the service layer to create the sales order. So we are really moving around with the cloud platform, the IoT services, and then some predictive analysis of Business One. We could have used machine learning or any kind of other intelligent services from the SAP Cloud Platform. Here you have the link to the blog. Don't worry, you will get the presentation, so you will get all the links afterwards, and then you will be able to see the details of this blog explaining the architecture, having a look to the video again if you need to, and then being able to put it in place in your environment. We have done another prototype. In this case, is a very simple prototype of a mobile application that is doing some kind of operations directly on the mobile based on what they receive from a sensor. It's also connected to Business One and by design to create some alerts and service requests. And it's also showing storing the information in IoT and being able to show it in Business One. So let me play this video that was just published this week in a blog that you will get also the link. In this short video, I would like to demonstrate the capabilities of the application called smb.io that we have developed to showcase some IoT capabilities. This application, you can get it from the App Store. Once you have downloaded it, you can open it and then connect to your sensor. In our case, we are using an IoT sensor. You see it now in the image. And after turning it on, we can connect to this device from the mobile application. Here we go to the main scenario that we have developed that is called Connected Assets, where we can first of all connect to our sensor. So as soon as the sensor is on, we can turn on here the button and then detect the sensor and connect to it. So we are now connected to our sensor, and we can then show the different measures in our screen. You see the movement, the light, and the position facing. We can also send information to an external system. In this case, we configure it for SAP Cloud Platform, and then visualize the data in an external application and even include it into SAP Business One or by design in a mashup. As a features, we can see that we can create rules. We will come back to this feature afterwards, where we can then set the values on which we want to set the rules, for example, the light, and we can set the threshold. We can also see the location of the device in a Google Maps screen, and we can see the activity logs of the application. If we go now to the rules, we can activate them, and then based on the fixed value we have set for the threshold, when the value will be lower, so we now go to the device, we cover it with the hand so the light will be really reduced, and then we can see that the light will go down here. We see red colors, and at the same time we are creating alerts in Business One, in by design, and an SMS will be sent. So we see here the SMS with an anomaly situation received, and then we know that we have received also in Business One an alert that is linked to an activity to control this device because the light is too low. We can also see in BYD we have created a service request For this, a normal situation on the device because the light was too low. So we have the details in the subject, a normal situation of high level detected on assets. So someone needs to check this device. How do we configure it? Of course, all these Business One BYD connections are configured. We see here the configurations, and we have also an SMS configuration, a Google Maps, and we can control the device directly from the mobile application. Thank you very much for listening, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so here we have seen another case where we have developed a mobile application that is connecting to our Texas Instruments devices via Bluetooth, and then getting data from the devices, showing it in the screen of the mobile application. And
so SAP Business One has a mobile app for IoT, and that mobile app is smb.io. So if you see this smb.io, if you go to your smartphone, you can download this and you can connect that to a sensor. And there's a configuration guide for that. So it is smb.io. This is the mobile app which SAP Business One is developing. That is what they're showing.
At the same time, sending it also to the Sap Leonardo IoT service. Then we have an application. So we can either do the alerts directly come to Business One or by design created from the mobile application, or the best case will be to have it, we did it here to be able to run it without the Leonardo IoT service, but the best will be to have your node application here in the cloud platform, taking advantage of the data stored by the Leonardo IoT service and communicating with Business One and by design. So this blog, I just published it this week, and you can find the URL here. So you can check the URL and see how to put in place. You have seen the application can be obtained from the App Store. So you can directly put it in place by yourself as soon as you have those devices or you change the application to connect to your own devices. We have a third use case. In this case, we are not using SAP Leonardo. It's a case where we are connecting to what is called an Amazon button. That is directly, this button can help us to communicate, to send information from this button to our own application that will be running in Amazon or in the cloud. So let me play this video explaining everything.
So I got here my SAP Business One with the IoT button from Amazon. I do a short press. This is communicating with a web service that's triggering.
What you guys can do is you can Google something called Amazon or AWS IoT button. Okay. When you Google this, Amazon or IoT button, then you find out that Amazon provide IoT buttons. They are pre-delivered, very cheap actually, $3, $4 you get. And then this example, the third use case that they are showing is that there was first a sensor, the second example of a mobile app, and the third example is if you are using an IoT button, which is very commonly available, how those IoT button can be integrated with the backend SAP Business One. So this, if you see this picture here, this is a picture of a Amazon Web Services or IoT button. Amazon Web Services actually is Amazon's product, and this green light basically which you see here shows that this button is active and how this button can be integrated to SAP Business One. So this is SAP Business One, this is my Amazon Web Services, and how both can be integrated with each other.
This starts there from Business One, and anytime we should have a Business One message. So let's just wait a few seconds and it should pop up. All right, there we go. We got the message. The button was pressed, and if you take a look, that's the message of the button. We can do a little bit more. So here I have the business by design in this case. So the by design in this case, what we can do is use the same dash button, but instead of a short press, I will do a longer one. So wait a few seconds, and release it. This matter, we do the same, but instead of communicating with business one, it will trigger by design. So by now, I should be able to just refresh the sales orders and get here a new order. As you can see it, let's open it. And we open, we got some description that this order is created using the dash button at 2:35, and the time now is 2:35, yes.
So what happens is, this is a sales order which got created in SAP using Amazon dash button. So you can define dash button in Amazon. If you're buying from Amazon something, okay, I need this product. And when you order it, you click the button. So you're not going to Amazon. You're not going to log into Amazon.com and go and select item and then you place an order and all that. No. That function has been integrated in Amazon dash button. When you need the product, you just click the button. And when you click the button, it automatically creates a sales order in the SAP. That's what this is example of actually.
That's one way of working with this little beauty.
So we have seen this dash button. So you see that directly we can from the dash button. So this one is not mainly for getting temperature or this kind of information, but it's a button that we can use to communicate with our business one and by design. So we can create orders, we can create service requests. For example, all people can have this kind of devices. If they don't feel well directly, it can create an alert so someone can come and
you can Google it, AWS IoT button. AWS IoT button. You will find a lot of information, literature on it.
visit that person. So we have really the possibility to develop whatever we want in the cloud to do whatever actions we want to do based on the push of this button. So we have here we don't have a UX, we just have this device. We have our intelligent solution, and we have then our digital cores. And if you look at all the different schemas that I have shown in the different cases, we are always having our application in the cloud separated from business one. So we don't go and take a memory or CPU or resources from our business one system or by design. We are being outside of it. We are completely loosely coupled. And what is more important too, we are able to address with the same kind of application several ERPs, so we could have our application working with business one and by design, which is the case of most part of the applications we are developing. So everything we applied on about intelligent applications, we applied to IoT. So we are running on the cloud, loosely coupled, and we have our solutions. So as I said, I presented 3 different cases, but we have a huge amount of cases. It really depends from your customers, and usually the customers will let you know what they really need to improve their day-to-day business. So if you want to learn more, I have given here many links available about SAP Leonardo IoT, and also a set of blogs that we have published specific for SMBs. That one of them is SAP Leonardo IoT for SMBs, giving an overview of all the processes you can do with SAP Leonardo, including videos and schemas of how to use it. And we have also a blog dedicated to this Amazon button. So you can check all these links.
Okay, so that is what this presentation today was about. So I'm not sure if anyone has any questions. You can let me know. I will be more than happy to answer any questions which you guys might have related to this topic. Okay. So anybody, any questions on this topic or any other topic? Okay. So in last class, I have asked for if anyone in you wanted to do any session, and obviously, of course, as expected, no one came, and I'm not surprised. That only shows our mindset, what kind of people we are. Okay, so with that, thank you, and talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you all.